Most organizations are built for an environment that is predictable and stable. In fact, predictability is the primary design goal of these organizations. A predictable and stable environment is where the organization wants to go, and everything that challenges that goal will be attacked, almost like an immune system attacks a disease. In such organizations, innovation is hard and has to be forced and pushed through, against the will of the organization. Such an organization is based on the premise that the world is a known and static place. We know what product to build and who to build it for, and those things will not change. The problem is that it's the year 2016 and the world is far from predictable and static. In fact, change is happening at an increasing pace, and adapting to these changes is the only way to survive. Lean Forward is a framework for building organizations and a process for building products in a world of accelerating change. The essence of Lean Forward is meaningful learning. By that we mean learning that helps us offer new value to our customers and to reach our business outcome goals. For example, at the beginning of a new innovation product, we know very little about our customer and if the product we're building is the right product. All this uncertainty translates to risk. While risk is good and should be embraced, otherwise you will never grow, it must be tamed. Our goal is to reduce uncertainty for each time unit. To achieve meaningful learning and to tame the risk, we use the scientific process of exploring and experimenting. The process is built around the build, measure, learn loop made famous by the Lean Startup movement. To make sure each learning loop provides the most meaningful learning, we applied the following process. The meaningful learning loop, or simply the learning loop to make it short, is split into 4 parts. 1. Assumptions and risk. 2. Experiment and learnings. 3. Modeling and simulating. 4. Meaningful metrics. You can start the loop in any of these 4 parts, but you must go full circle. Assumptions and risks is where we focus on understanding our most impactful risk at the moment. We can use the risk circle, described in a later episode, to understand what risks we face. The outcome of this part is an ordered list of our biggest risks. Some of these will be in the form of assumptions about the product or our customer that we have not yet validated. We use the next part of the learning loop to validate the riskiest assumption. Here we follow a structured process of experimenting to make sure we reach maximum learning so that we can reduce the current risks. The modeling and simulating part of the learning loop is about building a model of your customer and her behavior. We use 3 different types of models, and which one to use depends on your growth stage. The 3 models are behavior modeling, where we try to understand our customer and build empathy for her. Growth modeling, where we understand how our growth engine works, that is, how we reach our customer, how we convince them to start using our product, to talk about with their friends, and so forth. Business modeling is the last stage of modeling and deals with, as you can guess, the business model. The business model canvas by Alexander Osterwalder can be used here. Our model represents our current best theory, and each part of the model should be measurable so that we can populate it with real data. Last but not least, we have the meaningful metrics, which are our business or impact goals, defined in a measurable way. We have 3 levels of meaningful metrics. Business metric, our strategic goal, quantified. Like all meaningful metrics, this metric should be challenged regularly, but has the slowest pace, perhaps once a year or every 6 months, depending on the velocity of your organization. Product metric, or growth hypothesis metric, which is our currently identified most important metric that will help us reach our business goal. This metric should be challenged every 1 to 3 months, depending on your velocity. The third kind of metric is the experiment metric, where we do daily or weekly experiments to reach our product metric. Done correctly, there should now be a clear line between the experiments we run on a daily basis and the business outcome we want to achieve. Our work now becomes meaningful. Everything we do moves us closer to our impact goal. and everyone in the organization understands this relationship between the work they do and the goal of the organization. That completes the meaningful learning loop. Each part has its own set of tools and models to help navigating uncertainty and make maximum impact. One must remember that the reason for doing the learning loop is to maximize the probability that the product we offer our customers has the maximum value, and we have discovered that value in an as capital efficient and risk reduced way as possible.